Hey you, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing a video all about my piercings. Now I have 8 piercings, believe it or not, so I'm going to be talking to you about the pain, how much they cost, just my overall experience and how I got on with them, and like how to clean them properly. So if you are interested, make sure to keep on watching, and if you do enjoy the video, make sure to hit the thumbs up button and click that big red subscribe button so you don't miss out. And with that said, let's get started. Okay, so I'm going to start with the piercing that I got first, going to the one I got most recently, which I think was about 3 days ago or something like that. So the first one I ever got was my first lobe piercing. So I think I got this when I was about 6 months old. So obviously I don't really remember anything about it. So that was obviously my mum's decision to get that done, or my dad's, probably both of them. But yeah, I don't remember how much it cost, obviously, what the pain was like. So I'm gonna go on to my next piercing, which was my second lobe piercing. I keep touching my third one and it hurts because that's my most recent one. So my second piercing I got when I think I was about 13. I was in probably year 9 or year 10, and around that time I feel like a lot of people were getting them done. I've always wanted piercings, so that was kind of my excuse to be like, everyone's getting it done, it's not a big deal. And I do have another video on piercings where I talk about like how to convince your parents and things like that, so I will leave it up there if you are interested and in the description box. So for my second piercing, I got it done at Claire's, and I definitely don't recommend that at all because they use a gun which can't really be cleaned properly. So even though they pierced it with a gun on my lobe, it is safer than doing it on like your cartilage or something like that. But I just wouldn't recommend getting it with a gun. It's just like a big no-no, everyone knows that. Obviously I didn't know that at the time, so yeah, that was my mistake. So for my second lobe, I got it on both ears, and I think it cost around £30 because I decided to pick out a different earring to the basic starter ones that they give you at Claire's. And it also comes with like a cleaning solution and everything you need, so everything comes with it, which I think is really handy. So when I did this, I made sure to call up in advance, so there was 2 workers in the store at the time that could do piercings. So basically they did the gun piercing at the same time rather than like 2 individual pain experiences, I guess. So it was all done at once. Just to let you know, my pain tolerance is quite high, so I would rate this like a 2 out of 10, maybe even a 1. It wasn't painful at all. It kind of felt like someone had pinched me. And I didn't even blink. I didn't even think they'd done it yet. I heard the like clamp noise almost, but I was like, oh, you've done it. Like, it was so weird. I didn't even feel anything at all. It stung a little bit afterwards, but that was it. So yeah, I'm kind of going through the same kind of cleaning and healing process at the minute because of my third lobe. So yeah, I remember that you always had to like twist your earring every time you like cleaned it, which is 2 to 3 times a day. I do mine 2 times a day just because I'm purely lazy. Make sure to not clean your piercing too many times because there can be problems if you do that. I clean mine 2 times a day. You can clean it up to 3. Maybe if you're like washing your hair and you think you've got shampoo in it or something, just like be careful, don't wash it too much, but also don't like clean your piercing too little. Okay, moving on to my third piercing, which I did a whole video about, and it's called What You Need to Know Before Getting Your Nose Pierced, so it will be in the description box if you are interested. So I talked about my experience more there and like how I got my parents to let me do it and things like that, but I'm still going to talk about it in this video. So I got my nose pierced about 6 months ago with a gun, which is not the right way to go. I actually spoke about why I got it with a gun in that video. It wasn't on purpose, it just happened. Like, I explained it in that video. So my nose piercing cost £20, and then it was £4 for the cleaning solution. Everything has been fine, thank God. I was so lucky. I was so lucky, but everything could have gone wrong, but it didn't, so thank God for that. It used to be really weird to have something in my nose. Now I just don't feel it at all. Only recently, about 3 days ago, I got it changed to a hoop, which is one thing I want to say. I actually changed mine to a hoop so quickly that it like just went completely wrong. It was gross. So make sure to wait at least 6 months before you want to change it to a nose ring. I actually went to a professional piercing place and they like custom fitted me a nose ring, so it actually went with my nose properly. I think it's a little bit thick, but you know, it's just personal preference, of course. Where I went, they actually pierced it with an earring, which is so bad because that fell out so much. It was so frustrating. So I went on Amazon, I just bought this L-shaped stud, and it's so cute. People compliment me on it all the time, and even my nan, who I didn't think would like piercings, say I look better with it. So obviously that's a plus. I will leave a link to the one I have down below. I've been wearing it for months ever since I got my piercing until I changed to this. So yeah, as I said, I will leave it in the description box if you are interested in buying it. The one thing I would say, if you're having your nose pierced, always make sure to have a backup nose stud. I've literally lost so many down the sink and in the shower. Make sure to have a backup just in case, because another question I got on my other piercing video is how quickly can a nose piercing actually close up. So I actually lost mine, as I said previously, and it fell down the sink, and I was really worried because I thought it was going to close and I'd have to get it pierced again. And honestly, I had it out for an hour and I tried to put an actual earring in just to save the hole, and it would barely go through. So nose piercings are one of the quickest piercings to actually like close up. So if you do lose your nose ring, just try and put an earring in it for now until you can get another one, because otherwise you will have to get it pierced again. So for my next piercings, I got the double cartilage hoop piercing. Please don't get your cartilage done with hoops straight away like I did. I majorly regret that because I got really disgusting piercing lumps and they're so horrible. My nan actually told me about a method on how to get rid of them really quickly. Honestly, they cleared out within like a week, so I can do a video on that if you would like me to. It's very simple. So for my cartilage piercings, I actually got them done with a needle, which is the proper way for a cartilage especially. A lot of people say you can hear a crunch. I personally didn't hear one. That sounds so gross, I know. But basically it cost £31 for both of them. So it was £16 each, which I think is really reasonable. The place I went to was really hygienic, everything was all good. It was just that I got it done with a hoop straight away, which is why it caused that problem. So I would say make sure to get it done with a stud and then change it to a hoop afterwards. I really didn't want it done with a stud, and like majority of places were saying you need to get it done with a stud first, but because I didn't like the look of it on me personally, I was like, no, I'm gonna go for a hoop, and I really regret that. So please listen to me. If you're gonna take anything from this video, don't get it done with a hoop straight away. Also, if you're going to get cartilage and you're going to get it with a hoop, or you're going to get it changed to a hoop, please make sure to get the little like round ball. Personally, I don't really like the look of the like round balls, but I majorly regret not getting them because the ends of the piercing, as much as they like try and push them together so they won't like fall off, they like sometimes can go inside the actual like piercing, like the actual hole in your ear. So I'll wake up and the ends will be inside my ear and it's really painful. I don't know if it's making any sense. It's probably not. Moving on to my next piercing, I got my third lobe done about 3 or 4 days ago. I actually can't remember. So the experience was really great. It was not painful at all. I'd say like a maybe 1 or 2 out of 10, the same as my first lobe and my second lobe. My second lobe, I don't remember my first one. I forgot to say my nose piercing was probably a 2 or a 3 out of 10. It was not painful in the slightest because obviously it was done with a gun, so I don't know about a needle. The only thing with the nose piercing is that it made my eyes stream so much, which is normal, but don't wear makeup if you want to take pictures afterwards, because I literally had mascara all down my face. It was quite embarrassing. And for my double cartilage, it was probably the most painful piercing I've got, but again, it wasn't painful. To be honest, I didn't find it painful anyway. I'd say it was probably like a 4 out of 10, mainly because when she pulled the needle out, that's when it hurt the most. It didn't really hurt it going in because they make you like breathe in and out and do all this like distracting technique. Obviously your piercer is going to be telling you what to do, so it might be different for you. Yeah, for my lobe piercing, it cost £6, which I think was really good. And then I got my nose piercing changed to a hoop, which was £4 if any of you are wondering. So my third lobe piercing literally took like maybe 2 minutes. I was in and out of there. And it was not painful at all in the slightest. Obviously I can't rate it a 0, so I would say like a 1 or a 2 out of 10. It was a really pleasant experience. I feel like getting piercings is really addictive. But yeah, I think there's maybe like 2 piercings more that I want, and my mum's gonna be watching this video and she's gonna be like, what? There's literally no skin left on your ears, like how are you gonna get more piercings? There is like 2 more I definitely want, and then there's 3 that I'm like on the fence about. So on Twitter I did actually ask you guys what piercing I should get, and a lot of you said belly button, and I think that's probably the one I'd be terrified to get because obviously it's like going in your skin. I know obviously an ear piercing is, but it just feels different. I don't know how I feel about that piercing, to be honest. But if you do want to ask me any more questions about my piercings, you can always ask me in the comments down below, or you can ask me on Twitter. I will reply on both. So that's it for the video. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I hope you learned a little bit more about piercings. If you did enjoy, make sure to hit the thumbs up button and click that big red subscribe button so you don't miss out. And yeah, I love you so much, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!